Are we responsible for our own extinction due to climate change? Climate change stands as one of the most profound threats to human civilization, driven by a confluence of factors, many of which can be traced back to human activities. The escalating crisis raises the pressing question: are we responsible for our own extinction due to climate change? To address this, we must delve into the root causes of climate change, assess its impacts, and examine the extent of human responsibility in the context of potential extinction. Understanding climate change. Climate change refers to significant and lasting changes in the Earth's climate and weather patterns over extended periods. Historically, the Earth has undergone natural climate variations, but the current rapid warming trend correlates strongly with anthropogenic factors. The primary driver of contemporary climate change is the unprecedented increase in greenhouse gas emissions, particularly carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. These emissions are largely a result of industrial activities, deforestation, and fossil fuel combustion. The role of human activities. Human activities are at the heart of climate change. The Industrial Revolution marked a significant shift, leading to the mass production of goods and increased energy consumption. The reliance on fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas has been pivotal in driving economic growth, but it has also released substantial amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Deforestation, largely for agriculture and urban expansion, exacerbates the problem by reducing the number of trees that can absorb CO2. Agricultural practices also contribute significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. Livestock farming produces methane, a potent greenhouse gas, while the use of nitrogen-based fertilizers releases nitrous oxide. Industrial processes and waste management practices further compound the issue by emitting various greenhouse gases and pollutants. Impacts of climate change. The effects of climate change are pervasive and multifaceted. Rising global temperatures are causing polar ice melt and contributing to rising sea levels, which threaten coastal communities. Extreme weather events such as heat waves, droughts, and hurricanes are becoming more frequent and severe, leading to widespread ecological and human consequences. Biodiversity is also at risk, with many species facing extinction due to habitat loss, changing climate conditions, and disrupted ecosystems. The social and economic ramifications are profound. Climate change exacerbates existing inequalities, disproportionately affecting vulnerable populations, particularly in developing regions. Food and water security are jeopardized, leading to potential conflicts over resources and displacement of communities. Additionally, the economic costs of mitigating and adapting to climate change are substantial, placing a burden on nations and economies worldwide. Human responsibility for climate change is evident, but the question of whether we are responsible for our own extinction is complex. While human activities are the primary cause of climate change, attributing the potential for extinction solely to these activities requires examining both the scale of the threat and the possibilities for mitigation and adaptation. Climate change significantly increases the risk of extinction by threatening the stability of ecosystems and human societies. However, it is essential to consider that human ingenuity and resilience have historically enabled us to overcome various challenges. Technological advancements, policy changes, and international cooperation have the potential to mitigate climate change impacts and reduce extinction risks. Addressing climate change involves both mitigation and adaptation strategies. Mitigation efforts aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and slow down global warming. This includes transitioning to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, and implementing carbon capture technologies. Adaptation strategies focus on adjusting to the inevitable impacts of climate change, such as building resilient infrastructure, protecting vulnerable ecosystems, and developing early warning systems for extreme weather events. International agreements, such as the Paris Agreement, represent global efforts to combat climate change. They emphasize the importance of collective action and highlight the need for both developed and developing nations to contribute to climate solutions. While these agreements are a step in the right direction, their effectiveness depends on rigorous implementation and commitment from all stakeholders. The ethical dimensions of climate change further complicate the discussion of responsibility. The concept of climate justice addresses the disproportionate impact of climate change on marginalized communities and future generations. It challenges us to consider not only our responsibility to mitigate climate change, but also our moral obligation to address the inequities it exacerbates. From a philosophical perspective, the question of whether humanity is responsible for its own extinction also prompts reflection on our values and priorities. It raises concerns about our stewardship of the planet and the legacy we leave for future generations. In conclusion, humanity's role in driving climate change is clear, and the associated risks, including the potential for widespread extinction, are significant. While human activities are central to the problem, the capacity for innovation and collective action offers hope for mitigating the worst impacts. Our responsibility extends beyond recognizing the causes of climate change. It encompasses the need for decisive action and ethical consideration to safeguard our future. Ultimately, whether we are responsible for our own extinction depends on our ability to address the crisis effectively and equitably, ensuring a sustainable and resilient future for all.